Hello, everyone. It's showtime.
Hello.
Happy
Yes, it is.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
Hope you are staying warm and toasty out there inside. It is pretty much wherever you are across the country. It's a cold one, but we here in Florida are not used to this.
I was just about to say, your skin is
Historic
thin, your blood is thin.
broke the historic low in Orlando overnight, like 28 degrees.
Crazy.
We don't do below freezing here.
No.
Um, just want to start out right now by checking in with some friends who have been waiting patiently in the chat, starting with Mr. Michael Bingham.
Yes.
Very excited. We will be talking about that soon. Also saying hello to Orange Blossom and Tails. And hello to Mikhail Hack. Hello.
Hello.
All right. Well, we'll give folks a few more seconds to jump in. We've got Chris checking in. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
And Derek. Hi there. How are you doing? All right.
Be warm.
Yes. Hopefully you are all staying warm. And we started just a few seconds late, so what do you say we don't waste any more time and
Let's go.
jump right into this show in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast. My name is Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel, and we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, have you been staying safe and warm this very wintry week?
As evident by my sweater,
I've got so many layers on. It's
so many layers. I got out of Florida. I was stuck in Florida last week for 4 days, which I can't complain because I got to see family. Finally made it home, and I've been snowed in since.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly don't have snow, but I have ice on the side of my house. You're supposed to run your spigots, let them drip so that the outdoors faucets don't freeze. And so I have icicles. And who else has icicles is pretty much all of the fountains at Disney and Universal.
I know.
I'm loving these pictures of like the globe at Universal with icicles, Gaston's fountain in Fantasyland.
Ratatouille. That was the one that I loved seeing this morning. It looked really, really great. And it's been, if you are flying into Orlando, it has been a disaster. I feel for all my friends there. They don't have the means to de-ice planes like we do, in more northern airports. So there was a lot of cancellation. So be patient. I feel like that's the theme.
Absolutely. Be patient, be careful, and if you can and you're in Florida, lower your thermostat because my power company has been blowing up my phone. The energy demand is out of control. I guess it takes like 4 times more because we only have electric heat here in Florida. No one's got, a gas furnace. And it's like to raise the temperature 1 degree is 4 times more energy intensive than using air conditioning to cool it the same amount.
Wow.
And when it's 28 degrees out and you're trying to heat your house to 70 something because that's what you're used to. We've had power outages and stuff. So everyone be safe and be kind.
Yes. And you Floridians do not like to be cold at all. So like I don't even put my heat on. I haven't turned it on at all. And it's been negative temperatures. I just get bundled up. Floridians can't do that. They have to have the heat on.
But I will say I did bundle up and go out to a couple theme parks this week, despite the cold. I took a lap around Universal the last day that was semi-warm and was amazed to see them wrapping trees in fabric and plastic. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. And then on Saturday, before the freeze really hit in the early afternoon, I went over to SeaWorld for media preview of their Seven Seas Food Festival, which is running now until May. It's like the longest food festival.
Wow, that's a
It's
long
huge.
time.
Hundreds of items, a lot of new items this year. And God bless his soul, I was there for like an hour. I saw the chef's demonstration. I took the fastest lap around the park ever and left without even using my sampler card. But John Self, our intrepid reporter, stuck around and sampled every single new food item,
Oh my
and came
Lanta.
back with a report on what is worth your time, the best and the worst. As always at SeaWorld, the only way to make this worthwhile is to invest in a sampler lanyard and use them all. If you get the 15 or the 18, you're paying $5 to $6 per item, which is, I think, a fair price. But most of these things are, slider-sized hamburgers, tiny portions for $12, $13.
Yeah,
If you don't have a
every time we
sampler.
cover this festival, I just can't get over those prices
Yeah,
because that's
what
highway
amazed me
robbery.
this year, the Gerald So chicken is literally like 6 little nuggets of Gerald So chicken,
like smaller than a
like
popcorn chicken bite. Yeah.
yes, for like $12. So definitely, if you're planning on doing this event, do that sampler pass and check out John's picks for the things to try and the things to avoid.
Yes. What did you have that you enjoyed, or you didn't get to sample that?
They gave us a sample of their spaghetti bolognese and beef and pork meatballs. And I always joke about how the Italian food booths are always awful at Epcot's food festivals. This was a really good meatball and a solid bolognese. So I enjoyed both, especially since it was cold out. That was like warm carbs. That made me happy. So
That sounds amazing.
yeah. All right. Without any further ado, it is time for us to jump into the news in the queue. All right. We are in that time of year where corporations start releasing quarterly reports for the end of 2025. And in case anyone was doubting that Epic Universe would do big numbers for Universal, they have broken an all-time earnings record according to their recent call. And that is without Epic Universe even at full capacity yet.
Wow.
Yep.
Very positively surprised by this.
Yeah. So this earnings call happened on January 29th. And the big headline from it is that Universal's Destination and Experiences, the parks division of Comcast, they crossed the $1 billion threshold, $1.035 billion in quarterly adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization for all you accountants out there. But basically what we call their earnings, crossing the $1 billion mark for the first time in the company's history. So that's a pretty big deal.
Wow.
Their
haters are going to hate, but now the numbers tell the truth.
And their total revenue is also up to $2.89 billion, over 21% increase versus the same time last year. So that is a pretty huge jump. Got some quotes in our article from the chief financial officer of Comcast, but they are basically attributing this. These numbers are for all of Universal worldwide, but they are attributing it pretty much directly to Epic Universe.
When I was reading this through, I was like, wait, is this just domestic numbers? Because they're really saying like this is all about Orlando. And I'm like, oh wow, no, this is global.
These are the overall global numbers, but they are saying that the bulk of this is being driven by Epic Universe. And that is without Epic Universe at full capacity. And this was interesting. The last time they had a quarterly earnings call, back in October, they said, no, we're not running it at capacity yet, but we think we'll be up to full capacity in a few months. Now they're saying, yeah, we're still not at full capacity, and we're looking at expanding that over the next several quarters and reaching full capacity by the end of 2026. So I have heard through the grapevine that the capacity number right now is about 22,000 people a day. If they were to fill that up every single day, which obviously they don't, but if they were, that'd be about 8 million people a year. Right
Wow.
now, studios and IOA are coming in just under 10 million people a year, about 9.5 million people a year. So they still have a ways to go to ramp up Epic's capacity in order to be able to meet those numbers, much less exceed them. But it does look like they're going to be trying to increase that with more investment. And that's the other news from this. They quote, will continue to invest in Epic Universe. We've already seen that with construction permits that we've talked about. But in the short term, no huge additions slated to open at Epic Universe in 2026. And I think we can say that's true about all of Universal Orlando. We're not getting the new roller coaster until 2027. Whatever's happening in Lost Continent probably won't happen until 2028 or 29 at this rate.
Right.
So we're looking at 2026 as kind of I don't know, in sports terms, they call it a rebuilding year, right?
You know what? I think that's fair enough. The last few years have given us a lot, new
Yeah.
lands, new attractions, new theme park. I mean, you need to take that year to pause, take a beat. And I mean, this is just very fascinating. I love that, you only get one shot to impress someone. So you
Okay.
come to a park, and if you have a terrible time because it's at full capacity and it's a nightmare, I mean, you're going to lose valuable clientele. And I feel like they're looking at the long picture here, which is,
Well,
building
you're absolutely right. If you look at things like Google reviews or Yelp reviews of Epic Universe, they're pretty rough right now, and most of the complaints are regarding capacity, wait times, that's those kind of growing pains,
Right.
reliability. So that is what they're definitely looking to work on over the next year. But it just because there's nothing brand new opening in Orlando this year doesn't mean that Universal Creative is taking a break. They've got the
No.
Universal Kids Resort open near Texas.
Right.
Like we said, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift coming first to Hollywood in probably a matter of months. And they're full steam ahead now on the UK project. So that will be
and construction on our Fast and Furious is moving fast and furious.
And well underway. Something interesting, a statistic that was kind of buried in our article, which I encourage you to go to attractionsmagazine.com and read. They are looking at an increase. They added 2,000 hotel rooms, but the average daily rate that people are paying for their hotel rooms has gone up 20%. And I think that's interesting because a lot of those hotel rooms that they added were the Stella Luna, the Terra Nova, which are, value priced hotel rooms. But I think, those days of being able to find, $70, $80, $90 rates, those are kind of gone. Even now at Dockside, you're looking at more than $100. And discounts, I know annual pass holder discounts for hotel rooms have been getting harder to find. So it definitely looks like they have the occupancy is up 3%, but their daily rate is up 20%.
Which
so
I'm fine with because I also thought it's been more than fair for so long, and I've still gotten great rates at Dockside. I love it so much.
I think there's still a bargain priced in many cases compared to Disney's on-site hotels, and there's still not a lot on iDrive that I would feel safe staying at, that I would rather stay at than like a Dockside.
Literally, a lot of those are more than Dockside.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
but
no brainer.
I think the the best kept secret for a long time was that Universal's hotels were such a great value, and now I think they're trying to, still a value, but maybe not quite as great as they once were. So the other interesting thing is they've been talking about the overall impact of Epic Universe, not just on Universal Orlando, but on Orlando as a whole. And they've been talking about it as a catalyst. They keep using the phrase rising tide lifts all boats. Well, just hours ago, we got a Disney quarterly earnings report that seems to support that. Because Disney also had a pretty good quarter, quarterly revenue of $10 billion for the first quarter of fiscal year 2026. That runs end of September through the end of December. Different companies have different exact time frames. And this
includes their cruise division as well.
That includes their cruise division. Yeah. Disney is so much bigger than Universal.
Yeah. So the number sounds, wow, 10 billion close to what? No, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into
it. For comparison, 10 billion, that's only a 6% increase for Disney. Universal, on the other hand, they're under 3 billion, but they had a 21% increase. So what it shows is that Universal isn't necessarily eating away at Disney's pie, because Disney is still increasing, but it shows that maybe the entire market is being expanded, because there's more for both of them. Or maybe this is all coming out of SeaWorld's pocket.
Yeah,
we haven't gotten SeaWorld's numbers yet. We'll have
I will say I have gotten a lot of messages in these last couple of months from Disney people, I will say, that are now like, Disney families, like vacationers, like, I'm going to add a few days onto Universal this year for my trip.
Yeah.
I'm like,
absolutely.
And this is the whole thing that they're going for, is longer stays in Orlando, maybe tacking on a cruise at the end, but, bringing people to Central Florida and staying in Central Florida.
To drill down just a little bit more, if you want to just narrow it down to the domestic theme parks, Disneyland Resort in California plus Walt Disney World in Florida, that was $2.1 billion in revenue just for the quarter, and that was up 7% year over year. So still both sides still increasing, and Disney's also saying that their room bookings for this year are looking up 5%, but they're weighted to the back half of the year, and what that tells us is that fall Halloween season is definitely still becoming the major draw, where summer used to be. Now it's all about the fall and Halloween.
It makes total sense. It's what we see, the festivals, all the Halloween activations. I mean, it's a destination. That's why people come for these things. And the summer's hot. Just times are changing.
Yep. So if you are into all of these wonky earnings report numbers, head on over to Attractions Magazine. Read Blake's article digging into the details. And next up, we are heading somewhere I did not expect. We've been waiting to see when the Vegas Sphere would have an East Coast cousin. And it is coming not to New York or Orlando, but to the National Harbor in Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C.
When I first saw this photo, I am not going to lie, it's right next to the major highway. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be like an I-4 eyesore. Like, I'm just concerned about traffic and accidents because it's literally right next to such a busy road.
From a traffic engineering standpoint, this is absolutely terrifying to me, because in Orlando, we have this giant ribbon billboard that is alongside I-4. Yes. And that, that's always showing a Disney World advertisement. And that one enough is the cause of so many brake checks. So I can't imagine what this will do to people driving past. But when it is complete, it will be an East Coast version of the Sphere, but it will not quite be on the same scale as the Las Vegas one. The one in
Still
Las
massive,
Vegas,
though.
still massive, but while the Las Vegas one holds about 18,000 people, this one is only 6,000 people. So
Yeah.
about a third the size, but it's still going to have that exosphere LED display on the outside that makes it so memorable in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine. So if anyone has been to Vegas since this is open, seemingly if you have a hotel room that's facing it, no matter where you are, you see that thing, even if you're far away. I cannot imagine. I'm sorry, I can't get over this, driving like right next to it. I have chills. It's so scary. I don't know why.
Absolutely terrifying. This is not the second sphere that's been announced. The actual second full-size sphere is going to be built in Abu Dhabi, Yachts Island.
Yas Island, yes.
But the National Harbor site, when I first read this, I was a little confused. I was confusing the National Harbor with the Inner Harbor in Baltimore,
Different, yes.
which is a few miles away. That also has tourist attractions. This is the National Harbor, which is just south of Washington, D.C. And if you take a look at a map, the area that many people might be familiar with, where they have kind of a festival area, they have temporary tents for performances and several hotels and the big wheel, the Capitol wheel.
Yes.
That's
and
just
a big Gaylord over there, which is like a big destination for families and convention travel.
So that's just a little bit away from where this is going to be, just a little bit down the road from that, right where the MGM National Harbor Hotel and Casino is, because we know we can't have a sphere without a casino, right?
No.
And it's looking like the sphere is going to be placed right here on this parking lot. I guess they'll move parking to another location or have a garage or something, but that's where it appears to be from this concept rendering. So we will be looking forward to development on this. There's lots of other attractions in National Harbor. We don't have a exact date when this one will open, and to be frank, Disney once purchased land over here and announced that they were going to have something there, and that never happened either. So that was way back in 2009.
There's so many fascinating theme park things with that area. The Six Flags power plant in Baltimore Inner Harbor.
Oh yeah, and the Inner Harbor is a whole.
Obsessed with that, and there's like no facts or history. Like it's really hard to get information, but this area just has so many little theme park nuggets. And maybe this will be the thing that really explodes and works.
Hopefully. All right. Well, and then for our last story, Six Flags is a seasonal chain, unlike Disney and Universal that stay open year round. And folks like me who bought those Six Flags annual passes, good all across the country, are eagerly awaiting for the weather to warm up enough for these parks to open up. So we now have 2026 opening dates for many, if not most, of the Six Flags and Cedar Fair properties. Not going to read each and every one of them, but we're going to hit a few of the highlights, starting with California. Great America is going to reopen on March 28th. Then Carowinds in North Carolina is reopening on March 14th. Cedar Point is coming online May 9th, a little bit later because they're a little bit further north. We've got Kings Dominion in Virginia coming back March 28th. Kings Island in Ohio on April 26th. Of course, Knott's Berry Farm is year-round. Interestingly enough, we do not have a reopening date for La Ronde in Montreal, and I would not be shocked if that closed because it was in rough shape during my last visit, my first and last visit. Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, my home park, March 28th. And Six Flags Great America near Chicago, April 25th. And finally, Six Flags Over Georgia is coming back March 14th. Six Flags Over Texas on February 28th. And Six Flags St. Louis on April 25th. There's a number of more parks.
I'm very excited for Six Flags Over Georgia to reopen because I got to do Monster Mansion last year right before it closed. And it's crazy. It's one of those rides. I know we got a lot of attractions. I have been thinking about it nonstop. And I think I'm going to make the drive down to go on it once it reopens because it's just so good. If you are planning or wanting to try new parks this year, I highly suggest Six Flags Over Georgia. It was super clean, very well themed. I was so pleasantly surprised. And Monster Mansion is worth just going there, even if you just do that.
I'm very happy to hear that. It has been well over a decade since I visited that park, and it wasn't in the greatest shape then. So I'm glad to hear that it's getting some love. All right. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of this week's news. But before we jump into our main attraction, it's time to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
And for this week's main attraction, we are only days away from the first official permanent Pokemon theme park land to open up in Yomiuri Land right outside of Tokyo, Japan. And we have a full breakdown of what you will find there when it debuts on February 5th.
Wow. Yeah. I know you and I don't really have any allegiance with Pokemon, but I would love to go to this. It's definitely a micro park. So you got to keep that in mind. Very small, but it looks like it's going to be quite cute.
If you are a Poke addict, please keep your expectations in check before flying all the way over to Japan to visit this park, because this is not the universal Pokemon land that we will be getting at some point in the future. This is on a much smaller scale, but it is officially licensed. It is permanent, and it is 6.4 acres. So yeah, think pocket-sized mini land kind of thing. But even though it is compact, it is divided up into 3 sections. We're going to go over the layout of it and talk about some of the attractions you'll find there. So you're going to start out in an entrance plaza at the Pokemon Research Lab, and then you can pick which direction to go. If you go one way, there is the Pokemon Forest, and this is where guests can find little Pokemon figures in their natural habitat, over 600 of them scattered throughout the entire park. Here's the interesting thing. Guests must be at least 5 years old to enter the Pokemon Forest. I don't know if this is for the safety of the Pokemon or for the safety of the children.
That jumped out at me. I'm like, what? Because I feel like...
What is happening here?
I would love this. Yeah. I mean, I don't... Because I think they're not behind railings or anything, so I guess they're worried there's going to be some runners.
Yes, and I assume that, looking at this little scale model, it looks like these very intricately manicured gardens with delicate Pokemon figures and no real barriers separating. So I think they're probably just, if this was in the United States, the age limit would have to be a lot higher than 5 to ensure that people wouldn't just run and grab these and kick them over. We cannot have nice things like this here.
No,
they would all be behind walls. The other direction is Sedgetown, which is the town of your dreams, where Pokemon and trainers meet up. And this is where the majority of what you would call attractions. There's 2 of them. One of them is the Pika Pika Paradise, which is basically a Dumbo spinner featuring Pikachu-shaped ride vehicles.
Cute.
And VV Voyage, which is a carousel ride with other Pikachu creatures. Both of them sound super adorable, kind of like the Pokemon equivalent of the Seuss Landing rides.
Yes. No, I think it's going to be adorable. But what I'm mostly excited about, if I ever go, is this stage show.
Oh, yeah.
The little artwork.
Pika Pika Sparks. That is the signature stage show that you will find performed inside the Sedge Gym. With giant-sized Pikachus lording over the audience. I just hope they don't try to crowd surf because from this picture they would crush someone.
Well, my favorite part about this photo is all the hands in the air like they're at a Beatles concert. Like it's so dramatic in the best possible way.
I tell you, I visited Universal Japan and they had an outdoor Pokemon stage show where like the New York park area is in the equivalent in Orlando. And this is kind of what it looked like because it was this stage with a Pikachu dancing around and just a sea of densely packed, extremely excited Japanese people with their hands up, all dancing. They all knew the choreography of probably all seen the show 1,000 times. Yeah. In addition to the stage show, you also have meet and greet opportunities with multiple characters.
So cute.
There's a playroom inside the condominiums where you can meet Pikachu and Eevee, and Psyduck, Cellfairy, Vulpix, Growlithe, Slowpoke, Gengar, Lapras, and Dragonite.
Those are mouthfuls.
Save that. Say that 5 times fast.
Yes.
They will all be greeting guests over at the Pokemon Playhouse. Pikachu and Eevee are also going to host a bubble carnival parade. It's going to make its way through the town.
Adorable.
And you can't go to Japan without visiting a convenience store. And instead of a 7-Eleven, they have a Pokemart.
Iconic. Oh,
yes.
So such a great idea. And again, I don't care about Pokemon. I know nothing. After seeing these pictures, I want to go so bad. It looks so cute.
It is definitely what they call kawaii.
Yeah, kawaii.
So, previously we've talked about temporary attractions they've had in Japan and Taiwan years ago, but this is the first Poke Park that's going to stick around, according to Junichi Masada, the chief creative fellow of the Pokemon Company. This is a space where Pokemon will always be and where people and Pokemon can have fun together. So this is the place to go if you are a Poke addict, at least until we see Universal's first Pokemon attractions popping up in just a few years. Keep an eye on Universal Japan, as we've talked about in the past, for that first ride coming in where Spider-Man used to be.
I'd love to go here and Sanrio Puroland. Did you go when you were over there?
I only went to Disney and Universal. So maybe my next visit.
Yes.
All right. Well, that is just about going to bring us to the end of this week's show. Before we go, we can check out a few comments. We had a question from Mosa. When are we going to get a Rapunzel on Frozen Land in Disneyland, California? All I want is a Rapunzel and Frozen ride. That is a great question. Because we've got Frozen, obviously, in Epcot. We've got it opening up very soon in Paris, Hong Kong, Japan, but not California. I will say for years, I had heard that the area around the Fantasyland Theater and the old motorboat lagoon, that there were plans. I mean, there were plans back in Walt's time to put something Snow Queen related there.
Yep.
I've heard that for years. I've seen no movement. I think there's a lot of, Disneyland's kind of landlocked. and especially that area is related to the drainage of the water system that runs through Disneyland, and there's only so much they can mess with without having to
Wow.
take out all of the
Yeah.
submarines and the Autopia. It's a huge mess on that side of the park. And with Coco going in and Avatar, I don't know where you would put that at California Adventure. So we might have to wait for a Disneyland Forward to expand the borders of Disneyland someday. There were hints of Frozen Land on property that is surrounding the hotels when they pitched to expand out. So we'll see if that ever actually happens, but
Yes. I
not
do not have the gift of land.
anytime soon. So thank you for that question very much. And all right, well, that is going to just about bring us to the end of the show. Before we go, we want to remind everyone, we want to thank once again our sponsors, MEI and MEI-Travel, and remind everyone you can pick up a digital or physical copy of our Epic Universe magazine at our website. Also, please give us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to listen to us, and a like and subscribe on YouTube. Please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com and search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media platform. Carly, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Adventures by Carly. And this coming weekend, I know you and I will be gallivanting around Universal Orlando's Mardi Gras. So I'm excited to see you.
I can't wait to catch some beads with you.
Yes. Oh, yes. Got to catch all the beads. I hopefully will stay warm. None of my Mardi Gras clothing, I think, is weather appropriate.
It's gonna be creeping up. It's gonna
Yes.
it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better.
It's gonna get better.
You can find me at Eskabursky or at the Unofficial Guides and pick up copies of my 2026 theme park guidebooks at theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, stay warm, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.